Hello, continent hoppers. Today we are discussing transportation while traveling. Transportation planning is crucial for long-term trips around the world because it helps you stay organized and efficient. When you're visiting different countries and exploring new places, it can be overwhelming to figure out how to get from one place to another. Without proper planning, you may end up wasting a lot of time and money trying to figure out transportation logistics on the go. Secondly, transportation planning can help you save money. By doing research ahead of time and finding the most cost-effective ways to get around, you can stretch your budget further and have more resources available for other travel-related expenses, such as accommodations and activities. Thirdly, transportation planning can help you stay safe. When you're in a new and unfamiliar place, it's important to take precautions and consider the risks associated with different modes of transportation. By doing your research and planning ahead, you can avoid putting yourself in potentially dangerous situations. Now that we've covered the basics, let's dive into some specific tips for transportation planning on long-term trips. Research your destination. Knowing what to expect in terms of transportation options and costs can help you make informed decisions. 1. Start by researching the most common modes of transportation in the areas you'll be visiting, such as buses, trains, taxis, or rental cars. 2. Decide on a budget. How much money do you want to allocate for transportation on your trip? Knowing your budget can help you prioritize which transportation options to use and avoid overspending. 3. Book in advance. Once you've decided on your transportation options, book as far in advance as possible to save money and ensure availability. Consider multiple options. Don't limit yourself to just one mode of transportation. Consider taking a combination of buses, trains, and flights to get around more efficiently and cost-effectively. Pack light. The less luggage you have, the easier it will be to navigate different modes of transportation. Eliminating unnecessary items from your packing list can save you time, money, and energy on transportation-related fees. Be flexible. Unexpected transportation delays and cancellations are almost inevitable. Instead of getting upset or panicked, try to remain flexible and explore alternative options. By following these tips and more, you can ensure that your long-term trips around the world are as enjoyable, cost-effective, and safe as possible. Firstly, let's take a look at the different types of transportation available, so that you can understand which might suit you best for your upcoming trip. Flights. When it comes to international travel, flying is one of the most popular means of transportation. It's fast, efficient, and connects destinations across the globe. Although it may be more expensive than other types of transportation, it saves you a lot of time. Trains. Another option is to travel by train. Trains can be a very cost-effective option for longer distances, and they offer a different travel experience compared to flying. They offer you the opportunity to see the scenery as you pass through the countryside or cities. Buses. Buses also provide a budget-friendly option for long-distance travel. They might take longer than other forms of transportation, but they can be more comfortable and offer more stops along the way to explore local sites and attractions. Cars and self-drive. Having control over your own vehicle can be an option when you want to explore at your own pace. Self-driving can also be more cost-effective, allowing you to stay longer in certain spots, or drive through rural areas away from the crowded cities. However, it usually requires a proper driving license and insurance, and sometimes requires you to drive on the opposite side of the road. 5. Water taxis. Some locations, especially some island destinations or coastal areas, might require you to travel by boat or water taxi. 5. These options might be more scenic and enjoyable for sea lovers. 6. Tuk-tuks and motorbikes. In some Southeast Asian countries, tuk-tuks and motorbikes are commonly used as transportation methods. 6. They can be enjoyable to ride and an authentic way to experience the culture of the local people. Now that you understand some of the options available, let's dive into how to decide which form of transportation is the most suitable for your trip. Here are some factors to consider. Time constraints. If you're on a tight timeline, flying might be the best option as it will help you reach your destination quickly. If you have more time to spare, consider road tripping or self-driving. Budget. Flying is usually the costliest, while buses and trains can be more budget-friendly. Consider which type of transportation aligns with your budget. Destination. Consider the location of your final destination. If it's located in an area with inadequate transportation systems or has limited road access, you might need to look for alternative transportation options like water taxis or tuk-tuks. Personal preferences. Finally, consider your own preferences for traveling. Some people enjoy taking in the scenery, while others prioritize convenience or cost. Determine what factors are important to you and factor them into your decision. When it comes to deciding on transportation options for your upcoming international travel, remember to take into account factors such as budget, destination, personal preferences, and time constraints to help you make the best decision. Whether you are a seasoned traveler or just starting out, this video will provide you with some valuable insights and practical tips to help you plan your next trip. Part 1. Using internet sites to compare transport options. One of the first steps in planning any trip is to compare transport options. Nowadays, there are many websites and online platforms that can help you do this. For example, sites like Skyscanner and Kayak can help you compare the prices of flights and find the best deals. You can also use websites like Rome to Rio and Google Maps to compare different modes of transportation, such as trains, buses, and flights. When using these websites, it's important to keep in mind factors like travel time, layovers, and the availability of direct flights. You should also research the various airlines and transportation companies to make sure you are booking with a reputable one. Part 2. Deciding when to book. Another important factor to consider is when to book your transportation. Generally speaking, the earlier you book, the better. Booking in advance can help you secure lower prices, especially if you are traveling during peak travel seasons. That said, there are some cases where booking last minute or waiting for a deal can be advantageous. For instance, many airlines and travel companies offer last-minute deals to fill unsold seats or rooms. Signing up for email notifications or following travel companies on social media can help you stay informed about these deals. Ultimately, the key is to strike a balance between securing a good deal and ensuring you have enough time to prepare for your trip. Part 3. Knowing where to look for good deals and promotions. Speaking of deals and promotions, there are also many ways to save money when booking your transportation. For example, you can look into loyalty programs or credit card rewards programs that offer travel benefits. You can also explore different online travel agencies or tour operators that may offer bundled deals or discounts. Additionally, if you are a student, teacher, or senior, you may be eligible for special rates from certain companies. That said, it's important to do your research and avoid scams or fraudulent companies that may promise big savings but deliver poor service or even no service at all. Part 4. Managing transportation bookings through travel companies. Finally, once you have booked your transportation, it's important to keep track of your reservations and make any necessary changes or cancellations. For this reason, it can be useful to use a travel company or app that can help you manage your bookings in one place. Many travel companies offer features like real-time notifications, trip planning tools, and customer support to help you navigate any issues that may arise. You can also use online tools like Google Trips or TripIt to organize your itinerary and keep track of your travel plans. Transportation research and booking for international travel can seem overwhelming at first, but with the right strategies, you can find great deals, secure reliable transportation options, and manage your bookings efficiently. Remember to compare options, book early, look for promotions, and use travel companies or apps as needed. Whether you are a first-time international traveler or a seasoned globetrotter, there are some important things to keep in mind when traveling abroad. In this section, we will discuss a few key considerations beyond transportation that can help you enjoy a smooth and stress-free trip. Part 1. Understanding visa requirements and limitations. One of the most important things to keep in mind when traveling internationally is the visa requirements and limitations of your destination country. Some countries require that visitors obtain a visa before they are allowed to enter. Other countries may offer a visa exemption for certain nationalities or for travelers who are only staying for a short period of time. It's important to research the visa requirements for your destination country well in advance of your trip. You may need to apply for a visa through the country's embassy or consulate in your home country, and this process can take several weeks or even months. It's also important to be aware of the limitations of your visa, such as the length of stay or any restrictions on employment or study. Part 2. Planning for entry and exit procedures. Another important consideration when traveling internationally is the entry and exit procedures of your destination country, as well as any transit countries you may be passing through. This includes customs, immigration, and security screenings. To make your entry and exit as smooth as possible, make sure you have all the necessary documents and information in order. This may include a valid passport, visa, travel itinerary, and proof of onward travel. If you are carrying any medications or other regulated items, make sure you are aware of the rules and regulations related to these items. Part 3. Dealing with customs when traveling. When traveling internationally, you may also need to pass through customs and declare any items you are bringing into the country. This includes foods, plant materials, and animal products, as well as any high-value items like electronics or jewelry. To avoid any issues with customs, make sure you are familiar with the rules and regulations of your destination country. Some items may be prohibited or restricted, and failure to declare them could result in fines or even legal trouble. Be honest and straightforward with customs officials, and make sure you have all the necessary receipts or documentation for your items. Part 4. Navigating through local transportation options. Once you have arrived in your destination country, you may need to navigate through various local transportation options to get to your final destination. This may include public transportation like buses or trains, taxi services, or rideshare apps. To make this process easier, research your destination country's transportation infrastructure before you arrive. Look into the availability and pricing of different transportation options, as well as the level of safety and convenience. It's also important to be aware of any local customs or etiquette related to transportation, such as how to hail a taxi or what types of payment are accepted. International travel requires more than just transportation planning. It's important to be aware of the visa requirements and limitations of your destination country, plan for the entry and exit procedures, deal with customs when traveling, and navigate through local transportation options. Traveling with technology is something that many people do, but we often get flustered trying to figure out how to get the most out of our gadgets. First, let's talk about leveraging technology for transport-related tasks. Many of us are aware of the importance of booking your flight, hotel, or car rental online. But did you know you can use ride-hailing apps like Uber and Lyft to get around instead of renting a car when you get to your destination? These apps will allow you to effortlessly navigate unfamiliar terrain and have the added benefit of not having to worry about parking or being stranded if you're in a remote location. Second, let's talk about essential smartphone apps and other digital tools you may need. One important app to have is a translation app like Google Translate, which you can use to break down language barriers and facilitate communication with locals. Another useful tool is Google Trips, a travel itinerary planning app that automatically syncs your itinerary and reservations from your Gmail account and lets you discover interesting things to do in your destination. Third and finally, let's look at how you can stay connected while traveling. Make sure to turn on international roaming on your smartphone, or better yet, get a local SIM card to avoid exorbitant data charges. You may also want to invest in a portable charger or a power bank to ensure that your devices are always fully charged and functional even if you're not near a power source. With these tips for leveraging technology, essential smartphone apps, and staying connected while traveling, you're well on your way to having a seamless and stress-free travel experience. Now, we'll provide some tips for transportation logistics and maintenance during long-term trips. Specifically, we'll look at how to pack light, deal with transportation issues, and stay safe when renting cars, or using third-party transportation services. First, let's talk about packing light. Here are 5 tips for packing light for different types of travel. 1. Know your mode of transportation. For air travel, you'll want to make sure your luggage meets the airline's baggage size and weight restrictions. 1. For backpacking, consider the weight of all your gear. 1. If you're road tripping, you might be able to bring more, but make sure you have space in your vehicle. 2. Choose versatile clothing. Pack clothing items that can be easily mixed and matched to create different outfits. 2. Choose items that you can layer for warmth, and consider clothing with sweat-wicking properties for hot weather or physical activity. 3. Minimize toiletries. Many hotels provide basic toiletries, so only bring the essentials you can't live without. 3. Use travel-size items or reusable containers that can be refilled with your normal products. 4. Plan for laundry. Pack clothing that can handle being washed and dried in a sink or laundromat. 4. Consider packing a small bottle of laundry detergent if you plan on washing your clothes on the go. 5. Get organized. Use packing cubes or compression bags to keep your items organized and maximize space. 5. Roll, rather than fold, clothing to save space and avoid wrinkling. Next, let's discuss dealing with transportation issues such as delays, cancellations, and lost baggage. When it comes to these issues, it's important to be prepared. Always have a backup plan in case of delays or cancellations. Have a list of nearby hotels and transportation options in case you need to make a quick switch. Make sure to also label your luggage clearly with your name and contact information to prevent lost baggage. Finally, let's look at how to keep safe when renting cars or using third-party transportation services. When renting a car, always do your research and book through reputable providers. Make sure to inspect the car thoroughly before driving off the lot to note any pre-existing damage. Be aware of traffic laws and customs in the area you're visiting. When using third-party transportation services such as ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft, make sure to verify the driver and license plate before entering the vehicle. Stay aware of your surroundings and notify a friend or family member of your travel plans. Transportation logistics and maintenance is an important aspect of long-term travel. It's essential to pack light, be prepared for transportation issues, and stay safe when renting cars or using third-party transportation services. I hope these tips have been helpful. Thanks for watching and safe travels.